My name is John Restrepo. I'm the principal of RCG Economics. My preferred leadership style is to do more of a collaborative approach, letting my staff kind of take the lead on a lot of assignments with me providing oversight, but let them kind of handle the ball and working with our clients directly and keeping me in the loop, but let them take charge of those projects so they can learn and provide a higher level of service to our clients. Yes. Is it as back along the growth path as we'd like it to see it? No. But we have seen really positive signs in growth in the last couple of years, the last 24 months. It's moderate growth. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But for the most part, the Las Vegas economy and the resort industry is growing now on a sustained basis. And we hopefully to continue growing as well. We don't see any large-scale issues on the horizon that would prevent that, would get in the way. Any black swan events, so to speak, as they call them. But I think we're on a positive and moderate growth trend. I think largely because consumers have been so hurt by this recession. Consumer spending is still somewhat constrained. Consumer confidence is still moderately improving. We just don't have the purchasing power our consumers have as we had before the recession. This great recession was only the second one in memory that was really driven by a financial crisis. The first one was the Great Depression. And so consequently, those kind of recessions have a dramatic impact on consumer confidence, consumer spending, purchasing power. And that's what we're seeing today in the resort industry. And in many ways, we're a very discretionary-based, spending-based industry. So when other things have to be paid for, maybe you don't take fewer vacations, or you spend less time on your vacation, or you spend less on your vacation. So all these things come into play. I think it needs to continue to innovate and continue to reinvent itself and reinvest in itself, which is doing, as you see what's going on in the Strip right now. I think there's also one other thing that the resort industry could do as the core industry in the Valley, and have a greater role and more attention paid or appreciation for the importance of a diversified economy in Southern Nevada. I think a diversified economy will feed the gaming industry, will feed the resort industry and support and make it a healthy resort industry. We no longer can afford to just be a one-horse town in many ways in terms of our economic diversity. So I think the resort industry taking a more proactive role in economic diversification, economic development, is an investment well worth taking that will pay huge dividends in the long term for the position here in Southern Nevada. I guess theoretically, anything can reach saturation. That's kind of basic economic theory. I don't see that happening for a long time for no other reason is that the population continues to grow. Incomes are growing. They're moderately growing, but purchasing power is growing. And we are expanding into, ultimately, probably into online gaming. And so because of those factors, I don't anticipate a saturation point. Some markets will perform better than others. That's why it's very important for all markets, brick and mortar type facilities especially, to continue to innovate and reinvest in themselves. And even the online guys have to continue to reinvent and reinvest and innovate so they can stay fresh, basically. I think there's a huge recognition that has to be made, and I think it's being made, that the nature of the consumer, particularly the Gen Y, Gen Xers, millennials, and what their purchasing habits are and their purchasing power is a lot different than baby boomers like myself. And they may not be as interested in just the gaming part of it, just for the sheer joy of gaming. They may be interested for other things and why they gamble. And so we need to understand that this is a whole different type of mindset of what they consider enjoyable, how they spend their time. They might not sit in front of a computer screen or a slot machine or at a gaming table as long as their parents did. They may need more diversity, more variety. And so we need to understand what that diversity and variety is if we're going to continue capturing their attention.